Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're glad to have you join us. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. States and local governments in the country have been urged to take the path of honor by judiciously utilizing their share of the ecological fund strictly in addressing the ecological challenges in their areas. President Muhammadu Buhari made the persuasion at the launch of a compendium of ecological projects executed by the federal government between 2015 to 2022. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has more for us.
The 554-page publication packaged by the Ecological Project Office under the watch of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the compendium contains verifiable data on President Buhari's special intervention to ecological problems across Nigeria. During the period under review, 2015 to 2022, 332 ecological projects have been approved by the President, out of which 266 have been completed, while the remaining 66 are at different stages of completion.
The compendium is aimed at keeping the public abreast of the concerted efforts of the present administration in addressing verified ecological problems in all the nooks and crannies of Nigeria through the judicious utilization of the federal government share of the ecological fund.
President Muhammadu Buhari expressed the conviction that despite the enormity of Nigeria's ecological problems as well as the inherited deficit in infrastructure, the compendium will go a long way in correcting the negative public perception that government has not done anything in addressing such challenges.
The documentation and publication of these achievements in our modest effort to tackle ecological problems is therefore predicated on our quest to improve communication and governance as a tool for keeping citizens well informed and helping them to hold the government accountable. Hopefully, the compendium bridges a part of the information and communication gap between Nigerians and the real-time performance of this administration by portraying the specific locations of ecological projects with pictorial evidence as well as fruits of handing over the projects to the beneficiaries.
The President commended the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the management team of the Ecological Project Office for judiciously utilizing available resources for the effective implementation of approved ecological projects across the country.
In order to leverage the benefits to government from the commendable efforts of the Ecological Project Office and the effective communication of these efforts through this kind of publication, I encourage all ministries, departments, and agencies which have not done so to showcase their performance and achievements to the public.
Records show that under the modified sharing formula of the Ecology and Derivation Fund, the federal government has 1%, 0.72% to state governments, and 0.60% for local governments. And out of the 1% share of the federal government, only 55% is available for the execution of ecological projects, as the remaining 44% is given on monthly basis to NEMA, Great Green Wall Agency, Northeast Development Commission, and NALDA. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
The Senate is working to provide legal backing for Executive Order 001, which seeks to make Nigeria one of the best investment destinations in the world. The bill on the ease of doing business in Nigeria before the Senate has passed second reading. When passed, is expected to promote transparency and efficiency in ministries, departments and agencies of government, amend outdated business laws, and make Nigeria's economy more competitive.
Also promotes transparency in the NTA's dealings by making it mandatory for them to make public all the requirements of license, permits, waivers, approvals, etc., and ensuring that the one government principle which engenders deeper relationships between NDAs encourages them to share information to eliminate bureaucratic bottlenecks. The objective of the bill here is to make things easier, much easier for everybody to come in and make business.
The bill is referred to the Committee on Trade and Investments to report back within 2 weeks.
Meanwhile, Senate has confirmed Umar Yahaya as co-chairman of the Governing Council of Unclaimed Funds, while Joe Ohiani's nomination as Substantive Director General and Chief Executive Officer of the Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission was also confirmed. Organizations found guilty of defaulting their statutory contributions to the Industrial Training Fund are to face severe sanctions. This is one of the major provisions of the Industrial Training Fund Act Amendment Bill, which has been subjected to public hearing by the Senate Committee on Industry. Juncao has more.
When the Industrial Training Fund was established in 1971 and amended in 2011, it was to establish and promote the acquisition of requisite industrial and commercial skills. 51 years down the line, this objective is far-fetched, hence the amendment of the Act for a second time. Non-compliance with statutory contributions to the fund, challenges of forgery, and the need to refocus the fund are the major objectives of the amendment.
To strengthen the industrial training fund capacity to administer, supervise, and enforce the industrial training funds. The role of the funds in overseeing the development of personnel is helpful to remaining competitive in human capacity development. Okay, people have been some of these organizations that are not remaining. There should be a penalty clause, okay, that act as deterrents.
Some clauses in the Act amended in 2011 need appropriate interpretation and should comply with global standards.
The changing trend across the globe on matters of technical vocational education and training (TVET, the need becomes necessary to benchmark global best practices. The committee with the powers at the National Assembly should grant ITF other powers as it may deem necessary in order to fully carry out its assignment.
Timely meet for the inauguration of the Council of the Governing Council with full nomination and representation by all the statutory members, or anything that can be training that would help us get foreign exchange. The online training as well, like most of our Nigerian youths.
At the end of this iteration, it is expected that the fund will produce requisite skills to handle the many jobs occupied by expatriates. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has urged the Central Bank of Nigeria to come up with a procedure for the channeling of complaints by customers in respect of failed or delayed electronic funds transfer. This was in response to a motion from Representative Mohammed Shamsuddin, who noted that customers of financial institutions in Nigeria face challenges over failed electronic funds transactions, particularly on weekends and during public holidays. The House observed that the process of filing complaints for immediate resolutions of such issues are inadequate. The lawmakers made reference to a 2018 circular from the Apex Bank initiated to curb delayed or failed funds transfer with detailed regulations and sanctions, but financial institutions are not complying with the provisions. House Committee on Banking and Currency has been mandated to ensure compliance by concerned parties. The All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu has commended party members for endorsing his vice presidential candidate, Senator Kashim Shettima. Political correspondent Saliu Abdullahi Gwanara reports that the vice presidential candidate promised to be a servant of Nigerians and not his religion. APC National Chairman Abdullahi Adamu said, though nomination of vice presidential candidate is an exclusive right of the presidential candidate, the team represents the party's dream project, One Nigeria. Former and 7 APC governors, members of the National Assembly, party members from across the country witnessed the event. Osun State Governor-elect Ademola Adeleke and Deputy Governor-elect Kola Adeosi have received their certificate of return at the INEC State Headquarters, Osogbo, Osun State. INEC Supervising National Commissioner in charge of Osun, Oyo and Ondo, Professor Kunle Ajayi, presented the certificate of return. Wasiu Rauf has details.
The governorship election has come and gone, but the certificate of return confirms that Ademola Adeleke and his running mates have been duly elected as the next governor of Osun State. The joyous occasion afforded the governor-elect Ademola Adeleke the opportunity to appreciate the people of Osun State and God Almighty for his victory at the polls. Adeleke also reaffirmed unflinching commitment to his campaign promises.
This victory would not have been possible but for the goodwill of the patriotic men, young and old. I am overwhelmed by your love and support, and I do not take this trust you have bestowed on me for granted.
INEC National Officer in charge of Osun, Oyo and Ondo assured Nigerians that the Commission will not rest on its oars in sustaining the tempo of success recorded during the off-season elections as the general elections held in 2023.
I would like to thank every stakeholder that contributed towards the successful conduct of this election, from the National Peace Committee to our developmental partners.
With the presentation of certificate of return to the governor-elect, the transition committee is expected to be set up for a smooth handover to the new administration on November 27th in Osogbo. Wasiu Rauf, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party says it has received with delight the judgment of the Court of Appeal which affirmed the PDP governorship election primary that produced Osun State Governor-elect Senator Ademola Adeleke as a rightful candidate of the party for the July 16th, 2022 Osun State governorship election. A statement from the party's National Publicity Secretary, Debo Olugunagba, noted that the appeal court judgment, which puts to rest all contestations regarding the validity of the candidacy of the Osun State Governor-elect Senator Ademola Adeleke, comes as further validation of the will and aspiration of the people of Osun State, which they overwhelmingly expressed on the 16th of July. The judgment, according to the statement, is also a firm confirmation that the Osun State governorship primary was transparently conducted by Senator Dr. Iyochayu-led National Working Committee in strict compliance with the provisions of the PDP Constitution and electoral guidelines as provided by the Electoral Act and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. The party commended the judiciary for its courage, adding that the judgment has further restored the confidence of Nigerians in the judicial system and the processes of the PDP. Away from politics now. The admission of Nigeria into one of the United Nations organs, United Towns Agency for North-South Cooperation, will further assist in the federal government's Quest-Even development plan. Country President of the agency, Abigail Chinyere Amalaha, gave this assurance to newsmen in Abuja. Adebola Brookslin reports.
Knowing the fact that government alone cannot completely meet the needs of the people is the reason Nigeria, as a member of the United Nations, joins the League of 110 other countries operating the United Town Agency for North-South Cooperation. Abigail Chinyere Amalaha is the first president of the agency in Nigeria. She pledged to make rural development a focal point in collaboration with traditional rulers.
Our immediate plan now is to embark on humanitarian activities, vulnerable rural communities of the Federal Capital Territory. Abuja, of course, is one of these scaling up assets of FCT rural communities to save drinking water, quality healthcare, and education.
This is the very best time that NGOs have to be very active to be able to ameliorate government in ameliorating the sufferings of the people in all ramifications in various sectors of the economy.
The agency also seeks to defend the political rights of Nigerian electorates in the 2023 general elections by ensuring that their votes count in a free, fair, and transparent manner. Adebola Brooksland, NTA News.
Time now to go on a break. Nationwide continues right after. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi at the International Union for Conservation of Nature IUCN Congress in Rwanda is making a case for measurable, elaborate and sovereign action to meet the 25% nature conservation target for Africa. Onengie Fineface reports.
Because I think we need a very strong
Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi advocates the prioritizing of nature conservation in the national development plans of African nations in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. This, he says, is needed for the expansion and preservation of protected areas to combat climate change, reduce losses in biodiversity, and build the resilience of people whose livelihoods depend on natural ecosystems.
We need a broad stakeholder engagement from the community to the youth to the elders and in fact to law enforcement so that we can begin to look at nature conservation as a moral obligation for each citizen of the country.
The conference is also seeking an end to the dependence on foreign donors, encouraging African leaders to look inwards for the funding of protected areas and biodiversity conservation.
The protected areas we are talking about, these are actually being designed before by the colonialists before they left. Maybe we haven't done enough. We haven't grown the space. We need to grow the space, but our people must be in the center of this space.
And if we do not protect 30% of our land mass at this time, I think we will be ending up in a catastrophe very soon.
Stakeholders believe that protected areas, if expanded and conserved, can provide millions of green jobs for the continent. Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
Thousands of smallholder farmers and livestock herders in the country are to be trained on the application of Juncao technology, a Chinese agricultural initiative for growing mushrooms to curb desertification. The African Union Development Agency, AUDA, NEPAD, has commenced a 3-day national workshop on the application of the technology in Abuja. Petari Ikben tells us more.
Developed by a Chinese university in 1986, Juncao is a hybrid grass used to grow mushrooms without cutting down trees and damaging the environment.
We use grass to cultivate mushroom and feed the human beings. At the same time, we use it for animal feed so that it will reduce the movement of the herders and brought them to one place.
With great potential for stimulating agro-businesses, this workshop is to introduce Juncao technology and build the capacity of peasant farmers for mushroom production.
It's better to make agriculture a business. We should also partner with the Chinese government for the export of the process. I want to please request again that the Chinese government partner with Nigerian governments for domestication at our universities of agriculture.
This technology can be applied in Nigeria and we can make a difference.
This workshop is holding at a time when Nigeria is moving away from over-dependence on oil and diversifying into agriculture for sustenance.
How I wish if the government will sensitize all our local farmers to this type of things. I'm optimistic majority of our issues of harder clash will be things of the past.
When domesticated, the application of Juncao technology is expected to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs and boost Nigeria's economic diversification drive through agriculture. In Abuja, Mitairi Ikben, NTA News.
Federal government and other partners have set various policies and programs in motion towards tackling the challenges in water and sanitation sector. But Water Resources Minister Suleiman Adamu says those mechanisms may be hanging in the balance without the passage and implementation of the National Water Resources Bill. Ms. Baudan Wahab tells us more.
Water everywhere, but little or none to drink has been the paradoxical description of the situation in Nigeria. But in spite of series of policies and programs emplaced from 2015 till date to quench the thirst of about 25% of Nigerians still yearning for safe water, the demand is growing higher.
We came with a roadmap to improve the water resource sector in 2015, November 2015. And one of the key things that will anchor this reform to make water resources and water supply delivery more efficient and more effective and sustainable, the ingredients of that are embedded in this bill.
For now, those ingredients and its provisions to support agriculture may have to wait a little longer, as the bill was passed by the House of Representatives and waited for concurrence of the Senate suddenly became controversial. Antagonists have tagged it a land-grabbing bill intended to deny states access among others. Suleiman Adamu has spared no words to correct the apparent wrong perceptions. It says the bill is only a harmonization of a separate act for water resources, river basins, hydrological services and water resources institutes already in existence, and to give some biting powers to the Water Resources Management Commission.
The two major drainage systems we have are rivers Niger and Benue. River Niger flows in to Nigeria from Kebbi State. River Benue flows in from Adamawa State. If there is no custodian at federal level, what do you think would happen if Kebbi State wakes up today and says it's going to down River Niger and Adamawa State is going to down River Benue? Imagine the scenario. What will happen to Niger State? What will happen to Kogi State? What will happen to Anambra Onitsha Port? What will happen to the Delta Asaba? What will happen to all the creeks and in the Niger Delta?
Water use regulation takes into cognizance equity in the allocation and distribution of water resources.
And it is to ensure that its rapid acceleration by creating a special water fund, which will confirm for what was restored the acceleration of water supply to every country.
Now, it's another shot at it, as the ministry says it has taken the pain to reascertain the good intention of a bill and then hoping the National Assembly considers it in national interest. In Abuja, Musbao and Wahab, NT News.
We now join Michael in Lagos for more stories on Nationwide. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Lydia. The climax of the rainy season is here and comes with extreme humid conditions, which health experts say can lead to implications on the environment and by extension the human health, resulting in higher cases of certain ailments. Amaka Owo saws the views of some health experts on medical conditions associated with the rainy season, as they recommend personal hygiene and other ways on how to stay safe.
Human health is said to be influenced by nutritional, biological, chemical, psychological, and environmental factors. And so, for some, the rainy season is believed to trigger certain ailments, which medical experts say is as a result of the changes that come with the environment, which makes it favorable for some vectors to have close contact with humans and certain pathogens and microorganisms to grow rapidly.
This is the period that people do indiscriminate disposal of their waste in their gutter, and sometimes it is washed off to the farmland, and so the farm produce our vegetable are contaminated. So if you buy fruits, this is the time to really wash with soap.
Plasmodium species, they usually grow in stagnant water. And we know when during the rainy season, water collects in puddles, it collects in tins, it collects in tires, it collects in so many areas where stagnant water will be, and so that's where the mosquitoes breed.
Ample knowledge about these diseases and medical conditions for those in extreme stages of life, that is, the elderly and children, will enable caregivers be able to take necessary precautions and avert possible decline in their health.
Those who have conditions that may lower their immunity, for example, DM, diabetes, they also need to just the basic things will help, and then they need to give attention to their sugar control.
If there are any symptoms, usually cough, fever, or the related symptoms, it needs to be flagged as soon as possible.
Health, they say, is wealth. Therefore, sticking to safety tips and principles remain the best option. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
The Lagos State Police Command has commenced enforcement of ban on spy number plates across the state. Annie Daniels has details.
Spy number plates are issued to selected individuals and organizations for security reasons. Its abuse, the Nigerian police says, calls for immediate response.
People apply for this number with under the guise of being a security company, and they bring all the security company paperwork and everything and the vehicles. But you issue the numbers to them, and like say you find it on SUVs and saloon cars and everything, and they often use this to beat traffic lights and disobey all sorts of traffic laws. So, like I said, based on that, the IGP decided that the best thing to do was to revoke this authorization.
This is why this all-important enforcement exercise across the metropolis comes handy. Several motorists were stopped for defaulting, and the spy number plates were withdrawn from them.
I think that firstly, you just need to be law-abiding, right? If the IG gives you a directive, you do it. There are reasons for all these things. I think that's about it. If you insist, then you probably have another motive. Everybody reverts to a regular number, and as long as they have policemen attached to them, their security has been put in place. The spy number plate does not necessarily bestow any security on you. The policemen, the weapons are the things that guarantee your security.
The Lagos State Police Command Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyin says the enforcement exercise will be a continuous one. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and after which Nationwide continues from our Bini Network Center, where Agatha is standing by.
Thank you for staying on Nationwide, and welcome to Benin. Agriculture and technology have been identified as the gold mine that nations of the world are leveraging on to grow their economies, and Nigeria cannot afford to lag behind. Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, made the remark at the presentation of Edo Jobs Skill Up projects, where he also urged youths to key into the various platforms provided by government and contribute meaningfully to the development of Edo State and Nigeria. Udwakobong Achibong reports.
2 years ago, the state government under Edo Jobs employed the services of some partners to train Edo people, especially the youth, in music, acting and other areas in the creative industry. The training developed and deployed a general back office accessible by administrators and a cockpit site allowing learners to navigate and access physical, mobile and virtual training. The training has come to an end.
Through this training, I was able to acquire the skills and confidence to call myself a cinematographer.
And from the training partners, the trainees have learnt new skills and will be able to make a living from them with more trainings to come. The State Deputy Governor noted that inasmuch as government is committed to help the youth discover and develop themselves through various platforms, they should be ready to be involved, grab every given opportunity, especially in the agricultural sector, and be agents of change.
Remember, we need you to activate that in-built talent in you to be able to change the narrative. We need you to be involved in agriculture. Agriculture is a gold mine that young men and women need to go into.
The day jobs and the training partners believe that a successfully completed pilot project can be replicated with other Nigerian agencies. In Benin, Wakobong Achibong, NTA News.
Ondo State Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu wants traditional rulers in the state to intensify security in their domains and ward off intruders disturbing the peace of the state. This was at the inauguration of the new chairman of the State Council of Obas and 38 members of the council. Abiola Ario has the report.
The biannual event paved the way for our new chairman to pilot the affairs of the State Council of Obas for the next 2 years. Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu appreciated the past councils for their responsiveness to state matters in terms of advising the governor where necessary, and urged the new Council of Obas not to deviate from what they met on ground, but to build on it to make Ondo State a peaceful state.
It is worth mentioning that the Council has offered invaluable advice to our administration, and this has helped us tremendously when it comes to public policies. We have done a lot. A few of our policy direction is as directed by the advice they have given us.
The new chairman, Oba Alade Toyibo Alade Lucy, appreciated the governor for the confidence reposed in him to lead his fellow Obas.
I want to assure you of our total support for the redeem agenda of your government. I urge you not to relent in your effort of making Ondo State better safe.
The governor also had an interactive session with the traditional rulers to keep them abreast of the programs of his administration and receive first-hand reports from them on the activities in their various domains. In Akure, Abiola Ario, NTA News.
That's our report. More reports from Lydia in Abuja.
Many thanks, Agatha. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi, has directed all ministries, departments and agencies to be up to speed in the implementation of the digitization process of the federal government. She gave the directive at a one-day enterprise content management solution roundtable in Abuja. Haman Jabani reports that the process is being championed by the Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation.
While applauding the permanent secretaries for their effort in driving the digitalization process, the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Eson, urged them to ensure that they are not left behind in the process, as the office will very soon stop accepting hard copies from MDAs. She maintained that there is need for effective coordination at the highest level of administration, reiterating that the enterprise's content management being deployed will be carried out in phases. There is need for MDAs to follow the laid-down processes before procuring software solutions.
Every MDA should ensure that everybody becomes computer literate. It has become compulsory now. It's no more optional.
Permanent Secretary, Service Policies and Strategies Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, and other stakeholders say that the ECM is one of the pillars of the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2021-2025, which is aimed at strengthening the service in line with the future challenges in the workplace while deepening their understanding of the standard required for a seamless deployment of the ECM solution.
To ensure that our enterprise content management platforms will be cost-effective, interoperable, efficient, and in compliance with sectoral guidelines. We say there is a global race for the expansion of economics to capture new digital ecosystems that power nations to greatness.
We created a playbook end-to-end from beginning to the end as to how you go on your journey of digitalization.
The roundtable was put together for directors of reform coordination and service implementation, information and communication technology, procurement and human resources management across all MDAs in the Federal Civil Service. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
The Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has described as false trending social media report on the killing of some youths at a traditional marriage by Ebube Agu vigilante group at Mbidi in Oru West local government area of Imo State. He gave clarification on the matter during an interview with newsmen in Owerri. Beatrice Anyam reports.
The reaction of Governor Hope Uzodinma stems from the alleged shooting of some youths on Sunday by members of Ibubago Vigilante Group at Mbidi in Oru West local government area of Imo State. Speaking to the press shortly after the State Security Council meeting in Owerri, Governor Uzodinma debunked the news, noting that those who died were bandits killed in their camp.
DSS confirmed that they did the operation, and the operation has nothing to do with any waiting place. They went to a camp, and they went to the camp with a pointer who is a member of the gang, and they caught some people, and the people are currently with the Department of DSS. Yes, they killed some people.
The governor further describes the trending story of a 15-year-old girl alleged to have been impregnated in custody of security agents as blackmail.
What is trending about a 15-year-old girl being impregnated by the Department of, which is a pure fallacy. Rather, what the director reported to us was two ladies caught with some of the bandits. And those two ladies have been helping them for over 6 months now, when they were caught to pick some of these boys who are with them.
Meanwhile, youths from Oru East and Oru West local government areas of the state Tuesday morning blocked the Owerri-Onitsha road in protest of same alleged killing of youths by members of the Ibubago Vigilante Group. The protest caused difficulty in movement around the area for motorists and commuters, resulting in loss of several man-hours.
You can see the youth are not happy, so they are calling on the government to intervene. If Ibubago finish our youth, we will be women. What do we go do for this town?
The governor has, however, reiterated that while the Security Council awaits detailed report on the incident, it is important that the public are wary of those using the incident as propaganda tool to blackmail the security agencies and the government. In Owerri, Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
To create more awareness on the ongoing child census, officials of the Kebbi State Office of the National Population Commission have staged an interactive session hosted by Yauri Emirate Council for stakeholders in Kebbi South Senatorial District. Correspondent Abubakar reports.
The Commissioner of the Commission, Dr. Haliru Bala Dikan Daudu, explained that their visit to Yauri Emirate is to extend the campaign on the ongoing trial census and to plead for support from the people of the areas to be covered in the exercise. He also reiterated that the Commission is trying to ensure the success of the exercise.
Assurance to them, I trust them. We did enumeration area demarcation exercise and we have achieved 100%. And now they promise us they are going to give us their own cooperation. I know that they can give us. I don't have any doubt about achieving 100% as far as trial census is concerned in Yauri, Shanga and Duru local government.
Speaking after the meeting, the Emir of Yauri, Dr. Zayano Abdullahi, explained the importance of conducting a census, adding that it is a means of ensuring justice in the distribution of nation's resources and developmental services to every community, no matter their location.
Because it is the only way that the government will know the number of people in the area, which will determine the assistance that community will get. That's why we are sensitizing our people to make sure that we get all the necessary cooperation, that everybody will be counted.
Some participants commended the efforts of the Commission and pledged their total support to the exercise. Abubakar, NTA News.
Kaduna is next on our lineup, and Suleiman will give us the latest from that zone. Hello, Suleiman.
Thank you, Lydia, and welcome. Hope for bumper harvest in this year's farming season is being threatened in Juncao State as armyworms invade farmlands across the state. Ibrahim Sani reports that the farmers appealed to government for urgent solution to stop the damage from further spreading to the newly planted crops.
These are some of the farmlands invaded by the pest believed to be armyworm in Juncao State. Forested areas by the infestation are ranging Duse, Borno Kudu, and Tara, among other farming communities. The pest feed and destroy staple crops such as maize, millet, rice, and sorghum at the early stage of germination.
They lay eggs under the side of the leaves. Then these eggs hatch in no time. Just 7 to 14 days they will multiply, and immediately they hatch, a small larva will form. This larva will start eating grasses and seeds.
Narrating their audience, farmers describe the pest as destructive with high potential to affect food security and lower the yield by more than 50%.
It is very unfortunate that it is a very big farmland, and when I came, I think I planted more than 60 moodus of rice, and then it germinated successfully. But after like a week or two, this breakout of the insect, that is armyworm, has happened.
We need
I'm discouraged. I feel like not continuing with the farming again.
Currently, majority of the farmers in the invaded areas have resorted to replanting and chemical sprays to safeguard their crops from the dangerously invasive worms. Agriculturists, however, recommended early detection and continued education to farmers on preventive measures. When contacted state government officials who spoke off camera say they are on assessment visit to the affected areas to assess the level of damage and offer lasting and scientifically proven measures to contain the problem. From Duse, Ibrahim Sani, NTA News.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps has paraded 2 suspects who allegedly vandalized power supply equipment installed at the General Hospital in Kura local government area of Kano State. The state commandant of the Corps, Adamu Idris Zakari, while parading the suspects, said the equipment have been valued at about 1 million naira. Yohannes Hassan reports.
The Commandant Adamu Idris Zakari disclosed that earlier on the 6th of this month, management of the General Hospital Kura had reported to the command that their power supply equipment had been vandalized. Acting on the complaint, the commandant said officers and men of the command mobilized to track the vandals, arrested 35-year-old Suraja Tahir and Gali Ali, 29. The suspects confessed to the crime, revealing that the act was carried out at night when it was raining, such that people around will less suspect them.
According to the valuation made by KEDCO staff, it's close to 1 million naira. So you can see the 2 suspects here. They are apprehended and we are going to charge them to court after diligent investigations.
Also displayed was 32 kVA wire abandoned at Gaya local government, which was discovered by men on patrol. The command said investigation is still ongoing to apprehend the culprits behind it. The commandant reassures that criminals have no hidden place in Kano State, as they will be fished out to face full wrath of the law. In Kano, Yohannes Hassan, NTA News.
And with that report is back to Lydia in Abuja for more stories on Nationwide. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. National security challenges and pressing economic issues in Nigeria is a major source of concern, making authorities seek creative ways out of the woods. For this year's Diaspora Day celebration in Nigeria, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission will be harnessing resources from Nigerian diasporans towards solving myriads of problems facing the country. Ekene Ndulue reports.
It was the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, who once said that if you remove Nigerian physicians, American health system will collapse. This goes to show the quality of manpower Nigeria has outside its shores. There are about 17 million Nigerians doing great things abroad, and with a home remittance of $20 billion in 2021 alone.
Human capital, train the doctors are amazing.
25th July every year has been set aside to honor this set of Nigerians, and NITCOM has lined up a set of activities in Abuja come next Monday.
We also use that opportunity to facilitate engagements among diaspora with the ministries, departments, and agencies of government, our state diaspora local presidents, the Standing Committee of Diaspora Matters, and other private and civil society organizations participating in the implementation of the practical framework for the effective engagement of the diaspora for national development.
The diaspora are not done yet. Advancing national development remains their target.
We are committed to building and sustaining the existing strong economic and cultural ties with our home country, Nigeria.
The Diaspora Day looks promising, and there is optimism that the engagement will launch a revolution for the greater good. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
Reports just reaching us say the presidency says the outcome of the meeting held by President Muhammadu Buhari with relevant ministries, departments and agencies to end strike by universities unions ought to be beyond spin doctoring and conjectures. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, explains that neither during nor after the meeting was any ultimatum given to the Minister of Education. During the meeting, the Minister of Education requested that the Minister of Labour hands off the negotiations to allow him lead and conclude what he had earlier on started with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, which he promised he could get an agreement within the shortest possible time, possibly 2 to 3 weeks. The presidency states that in carrying out the assignment, the Minister of Education is to carry along all relevant ministries and agencies with statutory functions and duties relating to the issues involved. The presidency appeals to parties to work together to end the strike, as all doors remain open for dialogue and the resolution of the issues. Drug abuse has been described as one of the root causes of forms of insecurity in public secondary schools, and if checked, the society will be the better for it. Commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Akwa Ibom State, Obot Basi, said this during a sensitization of students in public secondary schools in Akwa Ibom State to minimize security challenges among youths. Kelvin Samuel reports.
For some time now, reports of crime and criminality among students of public secondary schools have been on the rise, and the situation is worrisome for the government and people of Akwa Ibom State. As such, stakeholders believe that the fight against this growing menace requires concerted effort. Hence, this seminar tagged Insecurity in Public Secondary Schools and the Way Forward, where parents and guardians are urged to take leading roles in the fight.
You must deserve healthy lifestyle. You must identify with positive-minded students, positive-minded peers. You must shun their pressure.
The children are so insecure because of their general behavior, and then you find a lot of indiscipline. Children have thrown caution, they have thrown morals to the wind.
It starts from our home. Our parents are the chief security officers of our students, of our children. Everybody is expected to be security conscious.
Participants described the seminar as rewarding, with vows to take the message to their colleagues.
I have learned is we should stay away from drug abuse. We should have a positive mindset, and we should focus.
As a student, we have a role to play in a school that we are going to.
Drug abuse leads to so many effects in the body and the health, so it's not good for the body system.
The sensitization seminar, which is geared at reducing the rate of violence and other cult-related activities in public secondary schools, has been taken round the 3 Sinotera districts in Akwa Ibom State. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel.
And that ends nationwide. Before we go, reminder that you can always join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Lydia Odijochi. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.